The recruiting process was pretty normal as far as when you go after a portal guy. Took a visit, enjoyed his time here. He might have visited one or two other places. I can't remember exactly, but decided that Utah was the best fit for him. And we're elated to have him in the program. Yeah, the rivalry's come full circle now, back to where it was in the Mountain West Conference when we joined the Pac-12 and they went independent. It became hit and miss. You know, we'd be on for a few years, off for a few years. So it's back to where it was pre Pac-12 era. However, it's still not back in its usual spot. So it's what about game 8 or 7, 8, or 9, somewhere in there. So I think eventually it'll probably move to a true rivalry week. But it's the biggest sporting event in the state of Utah any given year, unless you have the Olympics or some exception to it. And the community, media, everyone gets very excited about that game.
Coach, you've been a part of multiple moves in the past, as you mentioned, going from the WAC to the Mountain West to the Pac-12. But this time around, you go into a new conference as the front runner, as a new team, but also the front runner. Does that change the pressure or the aspect of it at all?
I don't think so, but it's certainly different than when we went from Mountain West to Pac-12. We had to do a lot of catching up with the roster, with facilities, with budgets, and so that was quite an undertaking. We go into this conference ready to compete right away, and so it's a completely different dynamic. We went from G5 to P5. Still will be challenging. The Big 12 is a conference that's got a lot of depth. By my estimation, there's 8 or 9 teams that have a chance to win this thing.
You also said you're as energized and as enthused as you've ever been before. What is it that keeps the motor running?
Well, first of all, changing conferences presents new challenges, new opportunities, and so that's in a way like getting a new job. And so it's energizing in that respect. Our players are excited about the opportunity that we control our own destiny. If we're able to win the championship in the Big 12, we are going to the playoffs. We don't have to hope somebody votes us in.
30 years of pouring your heart into this program. How wonderful is it to see that you guys have garnered the respect of all of your peers everywhere you go?
That's rewarding, and I think it's a testament and a tribute to our players and coaches that have been so consistent through the years, and really, our assistant coaches have done such a good job of recruiting the players, the right type of players into our program, and we've been able to sustain really due to that fact.
With NIL and revenue sharing, how has that impacted and changed recruiting?
NIL has been a game changer completely. Um, it's changed the the dynamic of recruiting. It used to be players, who do I feel most comfortable with on the staff, what school has the facilities, the location. Now it's NIL has supplanted all those other factors for most kids, not all kids, but for most kids, and it's become probably the overriding factor in where they're going to make the decision.
Do you feel like it's helped you with maybe higher rated prospects, for lack of a better term, that maybe you weren't able to recruit before?
Well, I think it's relative to the competition. If you're facing Ohio State, they want a kid, you want a kid. That's good. It's going to be tough to match what they have to offer. But just the biggest change for us recruiting in the last 20 years was going into the Power Five conference and the Big Pac-12. That was the biggest change. It allowed us to get into more doors.
Kyle, you went to Florida a couple of years ago to play them. You're going to play UCF this year in Mountain House. What do you know about Gus and his program, and what do you see from that?
Yeah, Gus has done a great job through the years. Outstanding football coach, offensive master. I mean, he knows offenses inside and out. Got a lot of respect for him, and it'll be a big challenge for us there. Last game of the year on a short turnaround. It's a 6-day turnaround, but he's done a great job and doing a great job at Florida, Central Florida.
A lot of recruits talk about the stability of this program for such a long time. What does naming Scally as the head coach in waiting do to that, and how do you think he's going to do as a head coach?
Yeah, well, first of all, Morgan Scally is an exceptional football coach. Without a doubt, he's the right choice to become the head coach of the University of Utah when that transition takes place. He's a Utah guy. He played football in the state of Utah in high school, in college, right into coaching at Utah. So he's fully invested in the program, and we've got a lot of good coaches on the staff, and a lot of them are going to be head coaches at some point in time. But for the transition that will take place ultimately, Morgan is the guy that should provide a seamless transition and make the program should hopefully just carry on.
You've known him for a long time.
Long
What are
time.
some qualities that he has as a
As a recruiter, very good evaluator. He's a great evaluator of talent. He does a great job building relationships with the players and with their families. He's direct, honest, and really families really appreciate that. And he's a guy that his track record as far as player development speaks for itself. That recruits are very impressed with what he's done development wise and how he's helped guys attain their goals.
With so much uncertainty in the future and everything, the House settlement and everything like that. Is this the time now maybe to talk about having a commissioner for college football?
I think we're going down that road, and I think you'll see that in the next 20 months to 4 years. I think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see two super conferences evolve or emerge, and I think you see them break away from the NCAA, govern themselves, and it'll be more of a minor league NFL model than anything else.
Who would you pick for a commissioner? What qualities would have?
Who would I pick? Well, a guy with great business sense and acumen, a football guy, a guy that knows football. As close to Roger Goodell as you can find. I think Goodell does a great job in the NFL. I know he's got some mixed fans, but I think that someone like that has got leadership qualities, knows football, and knows the business aspect.
Have you started to embrace that professional model in terms of your staff? I know you've got a general manager now. Have you embraced that?
Yeah, we have. Things are moving in that direction more and more each year. And we have a general manager, a player personnel director, very, very similar to what they have in the NFL. So, yeah, we've been going down that road for about 3 years.
You're still a month out from practices, but is there a position group that you have most questions about going into camp?
I would say that right now the running back group, we got Mekhi Bernard, who's an upperclassman, and Charlie Vincent. But who's going to emerge as the bell cow running back? If anyone does, they get it by committee. Which, if that's the case, that's not a problem as long as we get the production we need. But that's probably the position group right now that we're really looking for someone to step forward and take charge.
Do you feel like you have the most talent?
Time will tell. We feel really good about the additions we made this offseason with Dorian Singer, Damian Alford, two really good players, and a couple others as well. And so we'll see how they end up performing. But just going into it, we feel like we definitely helped ourselves this year.
Kyle, to kind of piggyback off what you said earlier, you mentioned that the health of Cam Rising is super important to the success of you guys. Obviously, if Cam does get injured, you in mind have for the backup behind him. I mean, would it be Sam?
That's a good question, and that's to be determined. Sam is not there at spring football. I can say for certain that Isaac Wilson and Brandon Rose had very good springs, and they're coming into fall camp essentially neck and neck. And now you add Sam to that mix, we've got to find out what he can do. So the only thing we know for certain quarterback is Cam is our guy. Taking one beyond that is to be determined.
Have you been able to evaluate Sam at all? First impressions so far?
Yeah, we've obviously watched the film at San Luis Obispo and the limited film he had in Washington and high school film. So we feel like he's a very good player. But again, he's got to fit into our system, which we think he is a good fit, or we wouldn't have recruited him. But looking forward to getting him on the field and seeing how he can put that into play.
Can you put your spin on being in the same conference with Mike Gundy? He and I talk about you a lot. You both are workout fiends. You both have been at this 20 years. Your record is like 3 games apart. You've got him on conference championships. He may have you on a few more bowl wins. But the fact you guys are being in the first game in conference, you'll go against each other.
Right. Well, first of all, I got a great deal of respect for Mike. I think he's a terrific football coach. I see a lot of similarities in our programs. He likes the physicality of the run game, which we've hung our hat on for a lot of years. He's been very successful in the bowl play, like you said. And I think we're hired like just days apart from each other. So we're even on the same track in a lot of respects. But to have them be our first conference game right out of the gate, and we'll find out where we stand right away when you play Oklahoma State. We do play Baylor in week 2, but it's not a conference game. So first official conference game September 21st, I believe, in Stillwater. So we'll find out, like I said, in a big hurry where we stack up.
The commissioner spoke about the revenue share model, and obviously there's been talk about roster expansion as well.
How do you plan for that as a head coach? The potential to move to 85 or 90 players.
Yeah, well, when it happens, we'll adapt. It could go, a few different directions right now, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be a roster reduction. If it gets down around that 85, 90 number, you have to think about being an NFL type model with the practice as well, where you service each other. And 'cause you're not going to have enough guys for full-blown scout teams if you get down to that low of a roster number. So we'll just have to see what it ends up at. Once it ends up, it is set in stone, then we'll adapt.
What's your preferred number? Because I know
120.
120.
120.
Would you be willing to go over 130?
No, I think 120 is adequate.
120 is
Yeah, I
good.
think 120 is good. In fact, we have like 122 lockers in the locker, so maybe 122. Yeah, don't want anybody doubling up.
In the same realm of conference realignment and expansion, obviously there's been some questions as to, like you said, the power to. I guess in terms of Utah's commitment to the Big 12 long-term future, do you see it as something that goes beyond 10 years? I mean, and so forth.
Yeah, it's a tough question, probably one for the administrators and the commissioners to answer. But I know that we're elated to be in the Big 12 right now because some teams are without a conference. And so to be able to be in a conference with the stability of the Big 12 is good for our program. And all I'm concerned with is the current climate, the current situation. I think we're in a good situation.
Is Cam almost like an extension of the coaching staff?
Absolutely.
How much stress does he take on?
Cam Rising is a leader among leaders. He's like having another coach on the field. He has got the respect and the attention of every player in the program, and he is the unquestioned alpha dog of our football team. Yeah, there's been some, Alex Smith, Brian Johnson, same type of mentality and same type of leadership skills. Yep.
Kyle,
We got to make sure that he's using good judgment. Now he's such a fierce competitor. That's easier said than done. But yeah, there's things we've already had conversations with, taking some hits off him and not necessarily needing to get that extra yard when we don't need it. There's times and places where you got to pick your spots, but you got to be smart. You got to be judicious when you carry the football about how many hits you take.
Kyle, I'm from Kansas City, and I know you were Coach Reed's teammate at BYU. I wonder if you could give me some old memories of Andy Reid when he was a teammate of yours.
Me and Andy hung out a bunch. Great guy. He was a couple years older than me. I think 2 years older than me. But we got along famously. He's the one that taught me to go to Wendy's and order fries and a Frosty and dip the fries in the Frosty. That's a great treat. If you've never tried that, you want to try that. So that came straight from Andy Reid. But smart guy, obviously. Great sense of humor. And to this day, we're close friends.
And your son is on his staff.
He
has
is.
been. He's got
6
three
years.
Super Bowl rings.
3 Super Bowl rings in 6 years. I tell him, you better understand this is not normal. And that, a lot of coaches coach 30 years in that league don't even sniff the Super Bowl. And here he's got 3 rings. So
one of the Super Bowl rings right behind you, where the touchdown was.
Oh, yeah.
This last year.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Right
I was here.
So, how many of the Super Bowls have you gotten to go to?
Every one of his. Yeah,
Every one of them?
Yeah. It's just 4. They're 3 and 1. Yeah. 4.
Yeah, 3 and 1.
And I've been to 3 or 4 other ones. With the let's see, it was the Saints one, the Green Bay Steelers one. Can't remember who won. Anyway, I think I've been to like 9 Super Bowls.
Coach, you got TCU back on the schedule again.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, by the way.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, the rivalry renews. Tell me what you remember about those games and how you think it'll be different with a different guy on the other side.
Yeah, well, Gary Patterson, you're going to get defense, and you're going to get really good defense out of Gary Patterson. His teams are always fast and athletic. They really did a number when they had Andy Dalton, terrific quarterback. So kind of lost touch with TCU through the last few years, although obviously 2 years ago when they went to the championship, that was a chance to get a good look at them again. But Coach Dykes is a great football coach and has done an excellent job there. And I'm sure it's going to be very similar to the teams that Gary had as far as the speed and the athleticism.
Does it help with the transition in that you got a little bit of history, even though it's
A little
long time
bit,
ago?
yeah, a little bit of familiarity, even though no one on our team does other than me, but it'll help me out.
There's a lot of anticipation in Orlando about hosting Utah on Black Friday. How familiar are you with the UCF program?
Very unfamiliar. I haven't had a chance to really do a deep dive, and of course we'll do that as we get closer to that game.
What's your perception?
Perception, talented at the skill positions. As far as that goes, a lot of on the perimeter, some real athletes on the perimeter, And Coach Malzahn does a terrific job offensively with his play calling, and he puts a run game together as good as anybody in the country.
What do you think is the key to transitioning to a new league? UCF first year in the Big 12 last year.
Having good players. When you have good players, you'll transition well. So we feel like we've got a good roster, and I think we'll compete very well from the onset.
Big 12 and Pac 12. What are some of the differences stylistically?
Not a lot. I mean, the spread offense, everyone has their own spin on it, but there may be a few more teams in the Big 12 committing to the run than there was in the Pac 12. Maybe a few more odd fronts, drop eight, rush three, drop eight stuff. But overall, football doesn't change much from league to league. And, it's really comes down to the basics walking, tackling, throwing, catching. I mean, that stuff is far more important than the schematics.
Now, there's been speculation that Cam Rising could potentially play an 8th year of college football. Is that something that you think could potentially happen?
That was brought to my attention. I asked our compliance guy, and due to circumstances, I don't think he qualifies for that 8th year. I haven't had a conversation with Cam about it. That's something we would address after this season, if in fact it's available. What he wants to do, because with NIL now, you can make a pretty good living playing college football. Defensive line should be a strong suit for us. Defensive end positions is loaded. We got 4 or 5, maybe 6 guys that we feel really good about. Junior Tafuna and his crew inside are 2 and 3 deep, so we think that will be one of the strengths of our football team.
Is Logan Funnel on pace to actually play?
Absolutely, yep, absolutely. He's doing great right now. No limitations.